Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Beats, Brews, and Points of View podcast. I'm your host, Neil Richter, along with my partner in podcasting, sitting to the right of me, E-Man Bates.
The PIP, I is the one, and we are back for episode 131. Yeah, that's right. I just rhymed 131, 131, whatever.
I love it.
Big Wolf, want to fight about it? What was that nigga from what was that, Family Guy?
Yeah. Well, anyways, we are back, baby. We are excited. We've been kind of itching to get another podcast in because we haven't seen you since we did the
oh my God, back again one, and then we took another break because
we're just gonna be spacing them out a little bit just so we can give you some better content. We're getting everything organized. You know, we've been kind of here and there. Right now, we're actually recording in downtown Plymouth at our good friend Nora's house.
We're back in downtown Plymouth.
We got Reese as a guest sitting next to us. What up, Reese? Tell the people what up. If you could see him, he's just staring directly at me.
Maybe he needs some headphones. I don't think he can hear himself. We had Cackalack in the first one. Now we got Reese in this one. I'm like, we're starting off the year with dogs. So I love it.
But anyways, I want to dedicate that opening track that you just heard to my good buddy Alex Birch out in Seattle. That's a song called "Where You Belong" by Little Dragon. And she posted, the lead singer of Little Dragon posted a cool clip of her playing that song the other day and was talking about, actually I want to pull up because I don't want to butcher her words. I just want to read it because I kind of enjoyed the sentiment that she had to share with the people about that song. Let's see. She wrote, maybe I thought for some reason I thought it was a longer thing. She just wrote to our loved ones that are not with us anymore, but fully alive in our hearts. I guess that song that she wrote is all about grief and everything. And I
thought you couldn't find it, and I was definitely about to hit you with the air horns, but I'm like, that would be so rude given the context of what's going on right now.
Hit me with an air horn right now, baby.
Oh wait, wrong one. My bad. There we go.
I love having fucking sound effects. That's so awesome. But anyways, yeah. So we are back. We got episode 131 for you right now.
Some things have happened since then.
Some things have happened. There's been a lot of music that we want to discuss, and basically what we're going to discuss here on the program tonight is we're going to kind of catch you up on the music we've been listening to. And then, well, obviously we got these beers to get to as well. And then we are going to discuss the awesome new project by our one and only E-Man Bates over here, or if you will, NameNReverse on the new project Before the Chaos, which is out everywhere now.
You know what's funny? Like when the people ask like about the NameNReverse thing, I'm like, literally, what's name spelled backwards? Like, come on, it's not that complicated.
It's great, man. But I'm really excited to talk about this with you because I want to get a nerdy breakdown of this since you're right here with us.
I love the nerdy breakdowns.
Oh man, me too.
It's gonna be about my shit. All right, let's go.
Definitely. But anyways, before we get to those, we have a couple of beers here for you. E-Man's has alcohol. Mine does not.
I don't even have your. What did I get you?
Athletic Brewing Company, the Run Wild IPA. So yeah, mine's a non-alcoholic one. We kind of alluded to it a little bit in the last podcast. I decided to go dry for January, start the year off on a sober kick, and I did that. Here's this if you need the spelling.
I got you.
And I did that, and then in February, the first couple weeks, I had some drinks and stuff on the weekend, and I just kind of wasn't really feeling how I was feeling from it. So I decided I'm going to go on a little bit of a streak without booze. I figured, my entire adult life, I haven't put any significant time in between drinking. So I got to try it out at least. So I'm going to see if I can push it for as long as I can and just see what life is like without booze for a little bit. So that's where I'm at with it.
So, I mean, I've been drinking very lightly, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like a more of a social thing for the most part. Like if I'm going out, but here's the thing, I don't really go outside anymore. I don't know what changed in me in the past 3 or 4 months, but I've really just kind of been staying in. Like Hogwarts for Legacy just came out, so I've been playing that. I've been learning how to. I've been learning more sound things these days, like engineering. I've been learning a little production things now. Things I pretty much should have learned like years ago, but now I'm finally getting it because I have the time. So. Yeah, man. So I just been kind of shut in and really haven't been drinking much. Neil obviously has been doing the same thing. So
yep.
Yeah. With that said, I guess we can get into the brewski. So I got rocking the cider out. Neil's rocking the NA beer. But over from Athletic Brewing Company, we have the Run Wild IPA. It's coming to, it's 0.5 ABV now.
Well, so was the other. I think they're all 0.5.
Yeah, more than like, it's not that bad. I mean, except for that Heineken 00 boy, but
is that completely 0?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the first one we had was the same way as this one.
So, Run Wild IPA, the ultimate session. The ultimate sessionable IPA, brewed with a blend of Northwest hops with Citra and Mosaic at the forefront. So you got that very very citrusy flavor to it. Bodied of premium organic malts from U.S. and Germany. Subtle yet complex malt profile. So I'm looking at it on tap right now, and they got a picture of the bananas in there. Does it have like a banana clovey taste like to it on the back end, or nah?
Well, I haven't really sipped it up quite yet. I was gonna wait and give
break down what I got.
Yeah, and then we'll have a sip, and then we'll talk about them.
Mine is a lot more ABV than that, but still. All right, so I'm rocking over from the homies at Blake's. We got the Imperial Hard Cider with Michigan cherries, the Grand Cherry.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Imperial
sounds
Hard
delicious.
With Michigan cherries, oranges, apples, and oak with a marvelous scale. Grand doesn't show up to the party. It arrives. Coming in at 8.5% ABVs, and because it's a cider, there's no IBUs here. You got about 35 IBUs on yours. So yours, I mean, it's a hazy IPA, so it should be a little bit of bitterness on that bad boy. But
yep. Yeah. And while we're giving this a little bit of a sip and a taste, I'm going to play a little bit of music for you here off the brand new Gorillaz shit. Is a song called New Gold featuring Tame Impala and Booty Brown.
You do that, shout out to Tyler on Untapped. The first review I see, tastes like a standard mass market craft IPA. They fucking did it.
Here's a little bit of New Gold out of the Gorillaz and Tame Impala for you. Yeah, shout out to the Gorillaz, by the way. I'll get into that a little bit later when we talk about some new music. But yeah, this is definitely this is probably more bitter than any IPA I've had with alcohol in it.
I kind of want to try it.
Here, try it.
Honest with you. All right.
It's very bitter. It's got that bitter taste, that bitter beer taste.
Oh boy, that's skunky. This might be old, dog. To be honest with
you, no one's bought these beers.
So, fun fact: I was at one of the stores in Plymouth out here, and so I used to be because I was a beer rep, and that's pretty well known knowledge, for my
anyone that listens
group.
knows. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the stores I go to, I used to sell to, and I was literally looking for NA beer, and he looked at me like I was crazy, which is funny. And then he goes, "All right, man, this is the only NA beer I got like right now. Here, take this." It definitely was like, okay, it's just one single beer. This bitch has probably been sitting in the bottom of the cooler.
He's like, I got to get rid of this shit.
He literally just gave it to me. So I'm like, all right, Neil, you ain't drinking. Here you go.
That's funny.
Shout out. With that said, shout out to Athletic Brewing Company.
Shout out to Athletic Brewing Company. I don't think that I would drink this again, though.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like that's old, so we might need to have a better representation of that. And I really want to give them the proper justice, but I'm pretty sure that's.
See if there's an expiration date.
Dog, don't do that. Don't. That's actually more of honestly, that's more of a take on the store we went to than the actual beer itself. I'm gonna be honest with you, but
what do we got here? Oh, I can't tell. It's cut off.
I wonder if that's on purpose. You know what? Actually, I got a really funny story. So, RIP to my grandmother, Glow.
Yes.
She found out that, this was about last year we did this. She found out that beer expires.
She didn't know that?
I had to tell her beer expires. And she didn't believe me. Because she used to drink High Life. High Life was her beer choice, which High Life is, honestly, that's my favorite cheap beer. Gotta be honest. So I was in there and I was just opening her fridge because I wanted to go grab a beer myself. And then I'm looking at it. I'm like, this shit's from like 29. This is like a year old beer and everything like that. I'm like, yo, I didn't say yo to my grandma, but I'm like, hey, your beer's expired. He goes, boy, shut up, beer don't expire. I'm like, no, it expired. I literally this was literally my job at one point to take out old beer. Like, it expired, trust me. And it gets all skunky and shit. And I'm like, I didn't say shit to my grandmother, but yeah, it was like tastes all skunky, and I'm like, nah, beer don't expire. Come on, and this was a whole thing for like 5 minutes with her, like Dude, explaining how beer expires.
One time in high school, we fucking we were partying at my buddy Catman's house, and we were looking for I think beer was getting low, so we were like looking in the garage fridge, and his stepdad had beer in the garage fridge. It was Budweiser that still had the old logo on it. It was the expiration date was 1994 on it.
Good Lord.
It was so funny. We were like, I don't even want to open this thing. I think it might explode or something. Or like cause like a
Yeasty Boi.
A Chernobyl or something. But yeah, that shit yeah. But anyways, we want to talk a little bit about some music. We haven't done a nice something old, something new segment for you guys in what feels like too damn long. So I definitely want to get into some of that. So I guess we could start with, let's see. What did I have for you here on my list for something old that I wanted to talk about with you guys today? Where did I have it? I just wrote it down. Oh, that's not the right list. Sorry about that. Where did it go? Why is it always different on the iPad? Oh, there we go. So I'm taking you back to 2009, and that would be an album called Machine Dreams by Little Dragon, who we started the podcast with. And if you listen to our show, we've definitely talked about Little Dragon before. But lately, I don't know what it is about the music. Just kind of is like therapy to me. Like a lot of the beats and melodies, and I don't know. They just make a lot of really interesting, unique stuff, and you never really know what you're going to get. She's very eclectic in her taste and stylings. So yeah, back to 2009, Machine Dreams. It's not their first album. I believe it might be their second one. Let me pull that up just to double check. Yeah, it's their second album. Their first album was 2007, was their self-titled album. And yeah, I just am a big fan, and I think you guys should check it out. So the first song we played had that kind of more of a like chill, laid back vibe. Here's a little different side out of them, with a song called Never Never. But anyways, I don't want to play too much of it. But yeah, that's a little bit of Never Never out of Little Dragon. E-Man, what kind of old music have you been listening to lately?
So I've been on a Dilla book a lot.
Yeah, shout out to Dan Charnas, the author.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's I'm almost done with it. It is a great read. It is a great audiobook. It explained a lot to me, a lot of things I didn't know, and then I want to get into the sampling episode eventually. Like, I'm gonna plan that out a lot more, but yeah, that made me really want to do it and really just dig deep into it, man. It's just, but hearing a lot of that, like, just his story, like, from all the other shit that was going on outside of the music to, like, you know, him creating beats, like, on his deathbed, still making beats and things like that. And there's a lot of, like, I didn't realize he had his hand on a lot of stuff. Even though, like, the shootout competition between him and Kanye, that pretty much happened.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, man, it made me realize, it made me go back to Slum Village, and I wanted to check out Detroit Deli. Taste of Detroit, yeah, back in 2004. But yeah, this was the first album Slum Village put out without Ba10. And it honestly is a great vibe throughout. Definitely had a lot of production there's a couple production from Black Milk. Yeah, J Dilla, obviously. Kanye threw some music in there. He was, you know, he was in the Selfish video.
Yep.
Yeah, man, it's a great. It's like one of those ones where it definitely sounds still like in the early 2000s, but it still holds up at the same time. It's got like that classic like hip hop vibe to it throughout it. Like the Fat Cat verse on Zoom, I really enjoy a lot.
Fuck
yeah. Big Hurt, like a lot of that, like Black Milk, man. It's just a lot of people we view in the Detroit scene, like, as like, you know, like the OGs and the legend stuff like that today. It's just cool to see them, like, hear from them around that time. Because me in 2004, I was like 12, 13. So I wasn't outside. Let's put it that way. I wasn't outside then. I was living in Detroit. I was living on the west side. That was right before I moved to Canton. What was going on? But yeah, man, it's just crazy. That, the Dirt McGirt. The Dirt McGirt featured Old Dirty Bastard. I think this came out like a few months before he died.
I think so.
Or after he died. Came out like after
he
died. Yeah.
Dude, this album, I have like such a specific memory of that album cover, because do you remember the Dearborn Music that used to be on Canton Center and Ford, you know, in Canton? No. It was over by like Leo's Coney Island.
So that was before my. Oh no, lies. Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. So they had a big like like the promotional album covers they'll hang up in record stores when new albums come out. They had a huge one of that like hanging up in Dearborn Music for the longest time, and that was kind of how I got. That was like the first thing I think I ever heard of Slum Village, if I'm being perfectly honest, because my knowledge of the Soulquarian era of musicians, your Talibs, your Roots, your Commons, all that the more conscious hip hop shit that came a little bit later for me. So this was, I think, the first thing I heard of theirs, to be honest.
I think this was my introduction to them too, because I was too young when Fantastic came out, Fantastic Volume 2 and things like that.
I think 2004.
I know Selfish 15, was the very first Slum Village song I've heard.
Yeah,
that's because I was of age
for sure. But, that makes sense.
There's another thing too. This was Capitol Records' like biggest like investment in the group itself, and it was just kind of interesting because. Just going back to the Dilla book, when they were talking about it, like Dilla was already around the world and everything like that, and this is like Slum Village's like rise around this album.
Yeah.
Only thing I found out that I think Selfish was like the biggest investment they had in them specifically when they put that single out, but. They said, it said that was the only single off of it. They didn't want to like invest in another one, and things like that. I'm like, okay, whatever, man. But this is a great fucking project.
It really is. What should I put?
I'm happy I got to see. By the way, I'm so happy we got to see them live. By the way, because they were with Nas and Royce.
Yep,
yeah.
I've seen them a couple times. I saw Slum Village at Rock the Bells in 2010. I've seen T3 fucking DJ a set at the Grasshopper Underground in Ferndale.
Pissed I missed Elzai. He was Elzai. They actually did the Dilla weekend thing at blah 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 blah. What's that place? Marble Bar.
Dude. Oh wait.
That was,
the one you went to last.
I didn't go.
Night? Oh
no, they had one Saturday and one Sunday. The Marble Bar was Saturday, and then they had one. It was like Nick Speed and a bunch of other people.
Yeah, that did look sweet.
But I saw Elzai perform on Saturday night. Miss Corona, all those like
that's tight.
DJ Los, Yeah, a bunch of people.
That's tight. You know what I learned in that Dilla book, by the way? Because he talks about the show that I went to. The very first ever Dilla Day Detroit, the one where it was supposed to be like Fife Dog was supposed to be there, Busta was supposed to be there, but there was janky promoters and they weren't actually booked to be on the gig. But Danny Brown was there, and I guess that was the first ever Dilla Day in Detroit. I didn't even realize it was, and I was there, so that's kind of tight.
Every time I think of janky promoters, I just think of that Ice Cube movie.
For sure, straight up. That's why I say janky promoters, straight up because of that movie.
Ice Cube, Mike Epps. Back in the day. All right,
that's my favorite. I love that. It's a great tag team duo right there, Mike Epps.
But yeah, I do want. Let's go with Reunion while we're here.
Okay.
Reunion produced by Black Milk, featured J Dilla. It's cool to actually, and the one thing about it too, I hate to say this out loud, dog. I didn't know J Dilla rap.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know J Dilla.
But I mean, that's not like a super embarrassing thing to not know. He wasn't. That wasn't his.
I know his production. Like I know
butter.
The Shining, and I knew like the Donuts out and things like that. I just didn't know he actually rapped.
Mm-hmm. I think it's funny because of like the people that he was with, and the type of hip hop he was making. People kind of thought that J Dilla was like some kind of like nerd backpacker, but he was a hood motherfucker for real.
No, that's the best part. That's the best part when they explain that. He's like, no, I like bitches and cars. And I like going to the strip club and all these things like that. I'm like, I thought he was a backpacker until I saw this. I read this book.
So yeah, shout out to J Dilla.
It makes me think of when Kanye did that Drink Champs interview, and he was talking about like I was just using the backpackers this whole time.
That was crazy. That was foul. But anyway, here's a little bit of Reunion out of Slum Village and J Dilla for you, which is actually, it's funny because this is the only one that's featuring J Dilla, because J Dilla was a lot of people don't know that he left the group before he died. He didn't. He wasn't in the group all the way up until he passed. So there was a whole life of Slum Village without J Dilla before he passed.
In fact, they were doing well too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Definitely. And it was no bad blood either. Just J Dilla just wanted to be able to, make music for other things, and it was
he didn't want to be tied to like. I get it. From a creative standpoint, I get it.
Everybody wanted beats from him at the time. So, here's a little bit of Reunion for you. And happy birthday, rest in peace to J Dilla.
Rep more D than 12 M&Ms.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a double entendre because it's a D12. Eminem reference and a D12. It's like a triple. Is it a triple entendre? Because he's referencing Eminem, D12, and Detroit. Yeah. Triple entendre. Look at that. Beautiful. All right. But anyways, yeah, so moving on, there's been plenty of new music coming out that I've been wanting to discuss and I want to get to. I actually haven't listened to anything that came out this most recent week. I really want to hear the Don Toliver because I've been reading a lot of good things about the Don Toliver album, which makes me happy.
Lucky bastard.
Huh?
Lucky bastard.
Oh, I know Kelly Uchis. Oh my God, she's going on tour, by the way, and I think we might need to go to that.
Did I tell you I saw Kelly Uchis? She opened for Tyler.
Yeah. I've seen her once before too.
Kelly Uchis has the best backup dancers in the game, first and foremost, by far. Holy shnikey. Yeah, dude, she's absolutely great live. By the way, it's a great vibe. I do want to see her in her own set though.
Speaking of that, you just reminded me when you said best backup dancers, because this woman also had backup dancers when I just saw her. I just saw Glorilla at St. Andrews Hall.
Hold up. That is a sentence I never thought I would ever hear come out of your mouth. Run that back for the camera, please.
Yeah, that's right. I saw Glorilla at St. Andrews Hall, which, you know, I don't know. I'm not going to even sit in here pretend here like I was like a giant fan going into it or anything. My friend Nora is a big fan of hers and wanted me to go with her. So I was like, all right. And I like her personality. I've seen a few interviews with her. I think that song with Cardi B is super tight.
She can fucking rap.
Yeah, she can rap for sure.
Rap.
She's super Memphis as fuck. Someone wrote on Twitter, Glorilla. If Glorilla was in a group with Megan Thee Stallion, they would sound like the female MJ or 8Ball and MJG. I was like, that's true, bro. But anyway, so I saw Glorilla. She did her thing, but my one critique is they still have. You can tell she's brand new at this. They need to dial in on the delivery of the performance. Like, they have backing tracks real loud. The Glorilla's wasn't as bad. The opening act, I forget the girl group that was opening up for them. Theirs was really bad, and they couldn't even keep up with their own backing tracks. They were like falling behind, which is another thing.
Apparently, so I was talking to a friend about this, but apparently they all like they came up together, Gorilla and that group.
Yeah, they did.
Like, she definitely kind of put them on. So I would assume if
the
Gorilla's new at them, kind of new at tour, and then this is probably her first solo headline tour. I'm assuming
it is
it's
for
theirs.
sure.
I'm assuming it's theirs too.
The funny part is she was supposed to be in the shelter. When Nora told me about it, she's like, Glorilla's, I'm getting us Glorilla tickets. I'm like, oh, it's tight. Where's that at? She's like, the shelter at St. Andrews Hall. I'm like, the fucking shelter? They put Glorilla in the shelter? I'm like, that's definitely going to get moved upstairs. And then not even a day later, Nora texted me. She's like, yeah, I got moved upstairs. And it was a Monday night, and that bitch was packed to the gills. I've been to tons of shows at St. Andrews, and I've never been to one that was that crowded, and especially on a Monday. People were wilding in there. Like,
the most packed show I've been to was Black Pumas there.
Black Pumas?
Black Pumas was crazy there.
I didn't even know that was there.
Yeah, I went with Sean, actually. I don't know where you were at that day.
I'm trying to find this girl group. You don't know the name of them, do you?
Not offhand. Do you got the tickets?
No, I never had. It was Nora had got it. I think is she one of them? Lakia. Why do I feel like she looks familiar to me?
Lakia 47.
No. Yeah. Anyways, I'll have to come back to you on the name of that group. They have a popular song out, but anyways, yeah, they all have some work to do. They, good attitudes. I'm rooting for them. I'm not trying to talk shit. I just think, that performance is what you really got to hone in on, because that's what people pay to see. They don't want to see.
That's how you get your money as an artist, is performances and selling tickets. So.
And the other thing was, Gorilla herself probably only did about 5 songs.
Really?
She brought out like 4 or 5 different people from Detroit, and each let them do like 2 or 3 songs.
I actually liked that a lot, to be honest.
It was cool, but I didn't know the dudes that she brought out. I guess one of them is signed to QC over at Quality Control. But it was definitely some super Detroit type music that she brought out.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly who it was, but iced out like a motherfucker. Holy Christ. And then it's funny, she ended the concert by stage diving off, and then they carried her out the front door.
Did you see the video that she tried that? I forgot, I don't know what city it was, but she also did the same thing, but like somebody grabbed her wig.
Oh, really?
And like she just said, fuck it, I threw it in the crowd.
She did have that long ass fucking waist level wig on for sure. It was long as fuck. But she was looking great. Not only was she looking attractive, but she was decked out in Carhartt, bro, and it was kind of tight. She had Carhartt pants on and like this little Carhartt. What?
Announcement, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, nice. But yeah, shout out to Glorilla. I think I probably saw the first and only concert that she'll perform at St. Andrews Hall, because she's definitely going to be into the Fillmores and the Foxes and the clubs next. So,
she's definitely going to be. Yeah,
she's definitely on the ascension ride up. But anyway, so back into it. Now we want to talk about some new music. So, first of all, a new single that I heard that I can't not talk about it. You know I'm a giant fan. If you listen to this podcast, you know how much I love this person. My love, the love of my life, Janelle Monáe, is back making music, and it makes me so happy. She is having such a fucking creative run right now between acting and music, and
we didn't even talk about that Glass Onion movie, did we?
Bro, she was phenomenal. I feel like she was the star of the movie.
It was between her and Bautista.
Yeah, it was like her and Norton were the stars for sure. But yeah, I love Janelle Monáe. She's looking fucking amazing. Did you see her at the All-Star Weekend performing?
Lord,
Holy Lord.
She can never wear clothes on Instagram. Either, and I'm not mad at it.
It's funny. She went from wearing like 3-piece tuxedos.
Oh, the black and white fucking like to just like fuck this shit.
No, but I don't mean to just straight up say I love her out of like objectification. Like she literally, to me, she's one of those once in a generation artists. She's a Prince to me. She's a Bowie.
EGOT.
She's fucking one of those.
She's gonna be an EGOT.
Yep. But so yeah, that's a single I listened to. I need to apologize to Kenny Beats for sleeping on Louis last year.
Oh, dude,
your album is fucking amazing.
Did you watch the
I haven't
Tiny
heard
Desk?
a beat tape that good in forever. I haven't seen the Tiny Desk yet though. He's got like JPEG Mafia and shit, right?
I got hip to Remy Wolf off of that Tiny Desk he did. I never heard of this person before in my life. She is absolutely fire, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. I've heard her name, but I wouldn't be able to pick her out of a lineup.
Yeah, I like her.
Nice.
Kind of a hipster Mexican chick. I like it.
Oh, okay. All right. I like it. What kind of new shit do you listen to? There's more stuff I want to talk about, but
Did we talk about Yachty?
No. Oh, let's talk about Yachty. Oh my God.
I am so happy for Lil Yachty right now for this fucking album, man.
Dude, he's one of the. Oh God, he's what I love. What happens in music when I get proven wrong about some shit.
That evolution, man.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing. I've always liked Yachty. But I've always put him in a. But I had to say I put him in a box.
Yeah.
I've always liked him, but I've always liked him for like certain reasons, stuff like that. It's like the happy music and things like that, kind of like that cheerful thing. Then Michigan Boat Boy came out, and then I was like, all right, I'll check this out, and I like it. I mean, obviously,
tell the people what that is real quick, just so they know.
Michigan Boat Boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys are familiar, in 2021, Lil Yachty dropped this out. Lil Yachty's from Atlanta, by the way. He did this album called Michigan Boat Boy, where he just put on a bunch of like Michigan artists from Detroit, Flint, all over. I think there's an Ipsy crowd on here, but yeah, and it was just solid that he just put on for the state, man.
He was basically saying that he was like, I think Detroit's an untapped market that has like so many of my favorite artists to listen to. And he really wanted to like shine a light on us. And I think that's cool.
It had like, like the bigger acts like a T Grizzly or a Cider Baby and things like that. Babytron, I guess, is in that mix now of a bigger artist there. But even like the Flint artists like a Rio de Young OG, Crispy Life Kid, like people like that VZ. But yeah, man, it's that was great. But I lost my train of thought. I was actually not talking about that album, but I do that. We just want to like why I like Yachty.
Yeah.
Let's start here. That's the name of the album. Let's start here. Man, this whole like Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, like abstract, like hip hop, art rock, like vibe that he's going on. I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
I love what he did there. This is gonna be my front runner for probably one of my favorite, like top 10 albums of the year. I can
seriously, I agree.
Like I've come back to this a few times already, and it is absolutely amazing. I officially lost my vision. Is one of my favorite songs on there. Black Seminole, the opening song on there is great. I do love like the message he did too, where he's talking about like just loss and just like dealing with stress levels and things like that. Yep, that's obviously similar things. I'll talk about that later. But
I just love. Yes, I love when an artist dares to be different and does this. And the best example I can bring you to what reminds me of this is when Childish Gambino did "Awaken My Love." Back in what year was that? 2016, something like that. 15, 16.
16 sounds right.
But when you're expecting, I'm expecting this new age rap, melodic hip hop shit to come out of this Lil Yachty album, and then I just get my wig blown off by this intro sounding like some Pink Floyd type shit.
Before you play this, I'm gonna just break down the album cover real quick. And do you think it's the label looking at him as he sent this album? Because they were not expecting.
Oh yeah, probably. Yep, bunch of label heads laughing and shit. Yeah, definitely. But it makes sense to me because if you heard last year, Lil Yachty towards the end of the year hopped on a remix to Breathe Deeper by Tame Impala.
Yep.
And you can tell that he was inspired by his time with Kevin Parker, I think, because, man, this definitely fits the mold. And Kevin Parker's not actually on this album at all. I looked in the credits. He's not actually featured on it at all. But some of the guys from MGMT are on here. There's a lot of Nick Hakim is on here. A bunch of sweet musicians that I like that he's, again, shining a light on lesser known artists that are doing this cool shit.
Yachty.
Yeah, I do too, man. I really fuck with Yachty. And I think this is a better lane for him, quite honestly. I'm glad that he did this. It's cool. It keeps people on their toes.
I love when artists do this, and I'm like, when they have that awaken my love moment, or I guess another example of that would probably be Kanye with 808s and Heartbreaks is another one that's similar to that.
Or
too.
Tyler with
Flower Boy.
What was the one after Flower Boy?
Igor
was super left to center too. That was a straight up
Flower
alternative.
Boy
rock.
was left for him, and then
but Flower Boy was still definitely hip hop, and Igor was more of a rock album.
Good point.
So that shit was cool, man. I encourage that, man. Go dare to be different. I was just having this, shout out to our girl Ashley Sorrell, who makes hip hop out of Detroit. You can see her in Heaven Studios all the time.
Cut that.
I was just letting it play. I was doing that on purpose. I was just letting it play off the background.
We cannot afford that.
But so Ashley Sorrell and I were just talking about that on Twitter. I was like, in a land of, especially in Detroit, man, there's a lot of copycat artists. A lot of people want to do the T Grizzly, Detroit street sound, and people that sound different are more important to me. And that's actually a good segue into what I want to talk about next here with is E-Man's project, because he's another one where I texted him, dude, there's no one in Detroit that you could say has an album that if you press play on it sounds anything like yours does. So I think that's really cool and really important, and I stress that everyone dare to be different.
All right. So with that said, I am just gonna shut the fuck up and let you talk about it. And then any question you have for me, this is weird. I don't know how it is to be interviewed on my own damn show. This is gonna be crazy. All right.
Let me pull it up first here because I want to have the tracks in front of me.
Let me make sure. Do that real quick. I'm gonna check on the video.
All right. Yeah, make sure we're still recording. So you can get it on the DSPs, by the way. We want to make sure you guys know this. So his first project was under E-Man Bates. This is under NameNReverse. N-A-M-E, capital N, reverse.
You know what's funny? Sean sent me a link today that this Before the Chaos came out under the E-Man Bates too.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's bizarre. So I guess you can look it up under both.
I don't know how that worked, but please go NameNReverse. That's where all my credits go. So that's where I would like to go.
So first of all, I want to start off with the cover art because E-Man nailed it with this one. Shout out your boy. I forget the
Nolan.
Yeah, Nolan.
Shout out to Nolan Giroux, man. We did that photo shoot about a year and a half ago, in December.
That was in the pandemic, wasn't it?
It was right before pandemic, actually. It was right. No. It was pandemic.
Yeah, I thought it was
pandemic
times.
Yeah, we did that photo shoot. We were shooting around the city, me, him, and this girl. And yeah, dude, it was great. It was a great time. Got a lot of good shots out of there. The original plan for the cover was something totally different, but I might use that idea for something else. But yeah, I really like the fact that you got the Renaissance building in the background.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like I'm coming out of a portal.
It does.
I do. And then I took his photo and I just kind of distorted it and made it more of a kind of like a trippy image. Dude.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I love it, man. The cover art definitely grabs your attention right off the rip. So that's awesome. And then, man, it's so awesome how the way this turned out because what E-Man originally planned on doing, this was supposed to be a full-length LP that, he had probably about twice as many songs for the project prior to, but made a decision that he wanted to chop it up and make it more of a small, concise project. And I think you just really hit the nail on the head with this one because the way it's sequenced, it flows so well, and I love when an album does that. It sounds like the production was all made by the same person, honestly, like because of the way that it like seamlessly weaves in between. And the producers are vastly different people from each other. Like they make totally different kind of things, and they still made a way to make it all feel like a packaged deal to me. And it's got all the elements of hip hop that I love. Like,
I want to shout out the producers real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Producers and engineers. So
let's do it right as we name them off. So Mano's Bizarre Adventure, which is the opening track, which feeds me as a hip hop fan because it's a great intro. You need to have a strong intro track, which feels like an introduction, and that definitely feels like an introduction.
So shout out to Kid Zoe. Kid Zoe, I messaged him. He actually came to the crib once, and actually, you know what's funny? So he came to the crib once. It was me, him, Sean, and then Ryan from Violet Soul, and we were just kind of like fucking around with production things and stuff like that. And he actually gave me the beat for Fear Our God that day, and I sat with it for a while and just didn't really do anything with it till I ended up recording it. But yeah, I kind of was looking for like a strong intro track because I was trying to figure out how in my head to top Green Balloons, and I'm like, all right, I gotta do something dreams and nightmarish to do that
for sure.
And then I'm like, all right, so let's do something
of.
with a crazy fucking like switch, and I'm like, all right, here we go, that's that. And then we were in there recording. I was in there recording Trippy Nights, and shout out to my boy Brandon Benson, by the way. Brandon Benson is a big part of this album. He is an amazing producer. He's actually the bass player for We Are the Union, who you can check them out on tour this summer, by the way, too. They're fucking amazing.
Hell yeah. Is he still out on the West Coast?
Yeah, he lives. Yeah, okay. Him and his girl live in LA. Shout out to him and Anastasia. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Dude, I wanted to call him today, but he didn't text me back. But yeah, man. Mano's Bizarre Adventure, we were doing that, and then I decided to bring Tessa in on the intro as well. Shout out to Tessa Heldmeyer. Tessa actually reached out to me. Oh, no. I was at a Ma Baker show, and Tessa sings with Ma Baker a lot and all the jam band guys. Those are also the homies too. Like, y'all don't know, I'm actually in a lot of fucking different scenes. Y'all have no idea how
that's the best way to be, really.
Anyway, so at one of the shows, she came on, she was like, honestly, I just want to be on a rap song. Like, that's on my bucket. I was like, yo, let's make that shit happen. And then that came about. So yeah, shout out to Kid Zoe, shout out to Brandon Benson, shout out to Tessa. Yeah, Manos is a great song. And actually, fun fact, it almost didn't even make the album. I pulled the album. I put it up to release a month before it came out, and then I pulled it 12 hours before it did just to add Manos. So
I'm glad you did, man, because it's a perfect intro, and it really, I feel like it fits with this well, and makes the whole thing feel complete. Moving on to track 2, Imposter Syndrome, which I find to be one of your more inspiring tracks, because it's got a great messaging, and E-Man, I think throughout this whole project has a good way of making you feel like, making you know that you're not alone, that a lot of people are going through a lot of these similar things that he's touching on, and trying to get out of your own head in a healthier, productive way. And Imposter Syndrome, I know a lot of people probably have that shit fucking coursing through their veins, especially when you're trying to make it in some kind of area of artwork. So yeah, who produced that one?
Shout out to A-Train, man, Arian Fuller. So I got, actually, you know what's funny? I've actually never met him in person. I want a huge shout out to my brother Frost is Rad.
Yes, sir.
He actually connected me with A-Train. And he just sent me a beat pack, and that one just stood out to me, and that one just called me, and that was the easiest song for me to write on this whole project.
Was it really?
Yeah, that was the easiest song for me to write this whole time. It just sung out. Shout out to Armando. That was the one we recorded that at his studio, got it engineered, mastered, and then it was like perfect. It's done. That whole song was done like within like probably like a couple weeks.
Oh, that's crazy.
I wrote it in like a day or two, but it was not bad.
Well, before we move on to the next track, I want to play you guys a little bit of Imposter Syndrome so you can hear it, because I think that's one of the standouts, and that will be...
It might get pulled.
No, it better not. They better not pull your own fucking music off our podcast.
In a certain place and wonder how you ended up there.
I hate when people play this part too because it's like, oh yeah, it's like 20 seconds of this shit.
No, I like it. I like it. I think it's tight. The voice reminds me of the devil from like skits and stuff. I like that.
Imposter syndrome, and you are not the only one. Studies reveal that between 9 and 82% of all people have these thoughts, that they do not have the attitude to be where they are. But what is imposter syndrome?
I love it.
Imposter syndrome is also known as perceived fraudulence.
In the mirror like, who is this? Mind thinking like, I don't know. Heart thinking, boy, you the shit. Don't play yourself, you bout to blow. On 10 since 10th grade. On high since Canton High. But still a deep boy. No dope boy, that's deep. You can't beat me, boy. You can't beat me, boy. Fuck out of here with that fear. Go disappear for me, boy. I work too hard for this, so goodbye. Don't really need your pin game to the 9, nigga. All we talking Nicola Nina. I won't sabotage this shit. I'm your boy, got your back, but you sure you ain't that Liz? The way you talking, all that cap. Oh, what's that? Bitch, I'm back. I'm that chip on your shoulder. So wake up, grab the Folgers. I'm throwing ash, you get colder, and I'ma work you like a slave. Hold up, pause, chill, better way. If there's a chip on my shoulder, believe that shit is better made. I grinded way too many days, open way too many ways for you to get any space in my head. Fuck.
Bro, that's the other thing that I wanted to mention that this song just reminded me of is it's crazy. If you go back to listening to Be Careful, Be Safe, and then you listen to this one, you can hear the exponential growth in E-Man between those different projects. And I hear it the most in the conviction in your delivery. I feel like you sound more confident in yourself in the way that you're spitting the bars. Like and in that song, there's like 3 or 4 different flow patterns. It's fucking beautiful. I love it.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome. But yeah, that's a super dope song. Moving on from that would be another song with Tessa on it, which I think you should submit this for the Detroit Music Awards.
That is a standout track, and I have absolutely 100% intention of submitting that for fucking awards.
Especially with the subject matter. It's very Detroit. It's definitely a Detroit anthem type song.
I love this song. As much as I love this song, it's still not my favorite song on the album, but I do absolutely love this song so much. Trippy Nights in Detroit, man.
Should we give them a little bit of this one too?
Nah, we don't have to, but I do want to talk about it though.
All right.
So this was the easiest song to record. Like I want to take this song. Like, I don't want to take many songs because I'm very particular about things. I'm like, this one I just was feeling. Shout out to Eastern Market Beer. I was actually drinking a Kolsch while recording this. Fun fact. But yeah, we were. This was all Brandon, Benson, myself, and Tessa. Man, we locked in. Me and Brandon and a lot of people don't know this too, and I don't think you know this, Neil, but there's actually an Instagram I made secret called Control Chaos Doc, and it has all this shit listed in there.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a secret Instagram I've been doing for like 3 fucking years.
I didn't even know that.
Trippy Nights in Detroit, yeah. Me and Brandon and I wanted something more like not melodic, but I wanted something more like a lo-fi thing, something vibey, something like that, because I feel like I've been trying to play with like different things. I feel like my voice doesn't necessarily work for certain hype things, which I try to do, like, and Be Careful, Be Safe, like I tried to do like the White Russian Mano and the Angry Gohan and things like that, but I've never really had like a slower flow like that. I'm like, all right, let me try something different. That song fucking hits, man. And then we changed it. So me, Brandon, and Tessa locked in and got that one out. And guess who put the final touches on it? Shout out to Hiroki.
Oh, did he really?
Hiroki put the final touches on
man.
that,
Shout out to them. They're out at South by Southwest right now.
Yeah.
Shout out to him and Anna. They're both performing at South by Southwest.
Bonsai.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm happy for them. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, man. I'm happy for them too. But yeah, Trippy Nights is absolutely the standout track on this album. That and Imposter Syndrome were like probably 1 and 2, but Trippy Nights is... I'm pretty proud of that fucking song.
Yep.
I really am. I really love it. Not that many people can get away with hit the blade dance while holding it Too Hearted, but I did.
And then fitting right in with the theme and kind of continuation into it. Number 4 track is Life's a Trip, which you guys are already familiar with because that one was released before the album. And there's actually a video for that you can go see as well, which is up on YouTube, probably on the Beats. Is it on the Beats and Brews page? Or is it on?
It is not on the Beats and Brews page. It will be though.
We'll put it there.
But yeah, like Life's a Trip's been out for a couple of years. So shout out to Dilo and the Keep It G collective.
Shout out Rocky 5,
Arius. Yeah, man. That one I wrote and recorded the same day, and Rocky. Yeah, it was me and Rocky in the studio. Arius got the verse late. Me and Rocky were just in the studio because he actually hit me up after one of the events. It was one of the 734 Saturdays, I want to say. And he was like, yeah, man, I want to do a song with you. I'm like, fucking let's do it. So we locked in, got that done. Then I was like, Doug, let's get Arius on this.
Yeah.
And then
they both smoked their verses.
I'm like, dude, this is great. And then Arius shot the video too. Shout out to Soundwave 734. Yeah, man, that was a great song.
They both smoked their verses. Dude, Rocky 5 is an interesting cat, bro. He's a cool dude. Rocky. I like him a lot.
Going back, I want to go back to Trippy Nights real quick. The part at the end, like the EDM part we did, like the house, like if you're walking into like a fucking after hour stage like that.
I think that's sweet.
I love that part.
That's well done.
Such an underrated part of that song. I love that part just for that.
I agree with you. No, I agree with you. Dude, this is a fun fact that I didn't know. Did you know that Rocky 5 is also an instructor at MIAT, the fucking aviation school?
I actually didn't know that.
I was like, what? I talked to him about it on Instagram once. Like, he had posted some photo from there. I'm like, do you work there or something? And he like gave me the whole rundown of it. I was like, that is fascinating. That's super cool.
He's a very interesting guy.
Yeah, that's awesome. So shout out Rocky, man. I like Rocky. But yeah. And then on to after. Oh, and who produced that one?
Dilo.
Yeah, that's right. Duh. You just said that. And then on to, I think this, if I remember correctly, E-Man, this one is your favorite track on the album.
Fear Our God is the hardest song next to the title track, Be Careful, Be Safe, I've ever written in my fucking life. I put myself in a fucking whirlwind of fucked up depression for that song. That was the toughest song I had to actually really get to. I'm also the most proud of that song in a way because I felt like I fucking left Earth doing Fear Our God, man. And just the message behind it. And I want to clear this up too, just because like I don't want people thinking I'm like a fucking Satanist or some shit like that. Nah, man. I mean, like we worship fear as a human race. Like, we're scared to do things because the environment enables us to just be comfortable, be content, be, just cool in our ways and shit like that. But that's not how growth happens at the end of the day, man. It's more of like, you have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. You have to fucking grow or else you stagnate and just regress. And that's the thing about Fear Our God, because it's like we subconsciously want that comfort so bad, but it's not necessarily good for us. And I'm guilty of it as well, man. Like, I mean, think about it. We were on a run for a while, and I feel bad that we, this time we taken in between episodes and things like that, and just things we've been going on. Even like the time it took me to put out this album, like, I've been told this shit should have been out and everything like that. Yeah. I know. It's taking time. But nah, man, I'm happy today to like, I just said, fuck it. I'm putting it out. I'm proud of it. I'm happy of it. And since then, things have been looking up, like, for me personally. And
the longer you sit there and